And it looks like we've got the same two starting points, Aliens and Data Core. And it looks like the mixed team, actually they switched. The mixed team's going to be over in Sub-Access. Aliens are going to be in Data Core. So they're going to be fairly close together. We've got Toby and Radical down here with the first encounter of the map. We've got two Marines heading out this way to Computer Lab to get that, that extractor set up. And it looks like the Marines win this engagement. The Aliens have an incredibly fast hive already set up in Atrium. They most likely know the Marines are in sub-access, and they really want to get out of there before the Marines start rushing. The Aliens are in a good position to rush, but it looks like they're not going to. We have 3 of BnD over in Pipe Junction, with a couple of pot shots by VJ being taken. And the Marines do move in after they get the ventilation extractor set up. And I don't think they see Elephant there. We'll see if Elephant tries to get a sneak attack going, and he doesn't. He keeps going. We do have the Aliens moving over towards Summit, looking to see if there are any Marine scouts, most likely, which there are none yet. The closest Marines are down in flight control quite a bit of ways. But the Marines are moving up to Reactor Core to snipe this extractor by the Aliens. Looks like the Aliens are going to go in and try to defend. Whether they're successful at this, it is 3 Marines versus 2. And it looks like 1 Marine goes down, 1 Alien goes down. And it looks like, oh, there's backup, and it looks like the Aliens are going to win this engagement. And the Marines do go down. That extractor is completely safe. Awesome job by the Aliens there, getting back up just in time. Looks like the Marines are setting up over in flight control to set down their second command center. So that means the Aliens are either going to have to take out flight control or take this incredibly risky position at the crossroads. Crossroads is very hard to defend. It's got access from both Marine bases, and it's just in the center of the map. So it's going to be an incredibly difficult fight for them as far as holding that. Now we do have mines set up by the Marines. They're getting placed around the map. We don't have any upgrades set up by the Aliens. The Marines are sitting at 4 res towers, and the Aliens are sitting only at 2. So it'll be interesting to see just how the Aliens try to combat this, because it does look like they're fairly far behind at the moment. We have 3 Marines moving back into Reactor Core. It looks like the Marines are also moving into Atrium from Summit Reception. Although we do have Time Druid sitting in a vent, taking a look at both of these Marines here. Let's see if this extractor goes down. And it looks like the Marines are successful in bringing this extractor down, which means the Aliens are now down to only 1 extractor. The Marines as well have lost 1 extractor, but they're only down to 3, so they still have quite a large advantage. The mine's already paying off with 1 death from BnD. And it looks like the Atrium Hive is under attack. We have 1 Skulk coming in. Looks like Sneaky Elephant is also sitting there, but he's very heavily damaged. And I'm going to assume that this Hive is going to fall. Atrium just now finishes just in time to die, most likely. Elephant goes in there to try to save it, and he is unsuccessful. Looks like the Aliens are going to lose this Hive. Phase Tech has completed for the Marines. So we will see some phasing, most likely to flight control. They might actually try to take Atrium now. They have a really good foothold on it. Actually, 3 Marines just came in 1 second too late to save this Hive. And the Aliens are really hurting here. They're on two Harvesters now. And they're hurting for resources. They still have no upgrades, even though Crag Hive is just finished for them. The Marines are sitting on mines, but the Marines don't have very many upgrades either, with mines and phase tech. Armor 1 has just started. That's going to help out a lot against these Skulks. Although the Marine engagements have been a little more successful than the alien engagements. We have 2-stroker here. Him and Fix are trying to grab this node. But I don't think they know just how many Aliens are on the other side of this wall. As far as crossroads go, we do have Toby and Radical sitting here, waiting for either the res node or the power node to be dropped. And we do have Carapace completed for the Aliens, which is going to actually help out a lot, because the Marines are going for Armor 1. rather than weapons 1, so that carapace is going to help out quite a bit until the Marines probably pick up shotguns or upgrade to weapons 2. This res tower is completed at the crossroads, and it looks like the Marines have a pretty good foothold on 3 tech points right now, which are going to keep the aliens at 2 tech points if they're able to get Atrium back. It doesn't look like they've done a whole lot of moving back into it. They're still only at 2 resource towers, and I honestly don't see any way for them to expand without doing a pretty decent push. We do have 1 alien unicorn over here on the other side of the map, probably looking to grab one of these resource towers from the Marines. And the Marines are just going to take down another resource tower, leaving the aliens still at 2. Their 1 resource tower at Atrium and their 1 resource tower in Data Core. Now, Weapons 1 is started by the Marines, and it looks like VJ is going in for their extractor in their main base at Data Core. We'll see if he's able to pull this off. We do have a Marine engagement up here with Toby hurting pretty bad. They do a scan, find out there's no hive, and they're most likely going to go for that resource tower right there. So that's going to leave the aliens at 0 towers. VJ's being hit right now. He takes down 1 skulk, but that other skulk takes him out. The aliens will hold on to their resource tower there, but they do lose the one in Atrium. Or not yet. It's not down yet. Looks like Toby's hitting it pretty hard. We do have 2 Marines down in Crevice. And Toby actually stops his attack on that node to give them backup, trying to get Sneaky Elephant in that vent. And research on shotguns have started. Weapons 1 is almost finished, and I honestly don't see, with these upgrades and the resource gain over the aliens, I'm not quite sure how the aliens are going to pull this off. They really need to drop this Atrium hive, and it does look like they're saving up for it. Weapons 1 has completed. They need to get up to Weapons 2, hopefully, to counteract this carapace. They've no doubt noticed that the aliens do have carapace, but they do have shotguns up now. We see Sneaky Elephant checking on that res tower. They just reconnected it to the SIST network, so it will survive. And it looks like VJ's going in to finish off this tower, which is going to put the aliens down at 1. Toby's giving them some backup. They really want to get this one down this time. So the aliens are down to 1 resource tower. They're up to 50 resources. Whether the alien commander, Steamy Taco, is going to drop the Atrium hive, I mean, that really needs to happen, in my opinion. Although the aliens do have a good defense here on the Atrium hive. They need to keep this up, obviously, or the game is over for them. We have 1 Marine down here, Radical, building up the resource tower, and that's going to put the Marines at 4 towers. It's just almost an insurmountable amount of resources on their side. Weapons 2 is being researched right now, which is going to give the Marines an even larger advantage, especially against the carapace that all of the aliens are using. A scan going down in Atrium sees that no hive has yet been put down. Most likely what the Marines are waiting for is that hive to be put down, and then they'll do a big push, because they no doubt know that the aliens are incredibly starved for resources. The aliens do put down their node in Data Core to bring them back up to 2 as soon as that builds. And the Marines are trying to hold on to the Crevice resource tower, and they're being quite successful at it. I don't see a phase gate over in flight control. I'm not sure I see a phase gate at all, in fact. Nope, the phase gate is unconnected, so they've gotten that research, but they haven't done much with it. So the Marines are having to walk all the way up to Crevice every time, but it doesn't look like that's hurting them in the least. The Atrium hive is about just a little over a quarter of the way finished. And we do have a lurk, Sneaky Elephant, defending it. We do have a second lurk coming in to bolster the defenses, and it looks like we see a phase gate going down, I believe is that what that is. It's either a phase gate or an observatory. I can't quite tell, and it is a phase gate. So the Marines do set up their phase tech. They're setting up a forward base into Atrium. Now that, I'm not quite sure if they know the hive is there yet. I don't think I've seen a Marine cross this corner, and there hasn't been a scan in there. Now we do have a couple of Marines hitting this resource tower, and the aliens do lose another resource tower, although they have claimed the reactor core tower. And it looks like the aliens, well, Toby's getting healed. And the Skulk does go down. Toby is indeed able to successfully take down that tower and take down a few aliens as well. And Toby's just doing an absolutely fantastic job with his aiming. He's going to go back to the resource tower that was just placed. And he's got quite a kill streak with this shotgun going on. An excellent aiming by Toby. Atrium Hive is going down. And the Marines have secured Atrium permanently now. With the Marines in Atrium and Data Core, Toby's just doing an excellent job in Data Core, still just taking down those aliens. Excellent work by Toby. And that's just absolutely amazing. His aim is absolutely spot on. The Marines are taking down the reactor core extractor, leaving the aliens at 0 extractors and 37 minerals as they move into Data Core to finish off the map. And we do have a Marine victory for our first round. Good game, everyone. So an excellent first round. The mixed team here, put together by Toby, the 2 members of HG, doing an excellent job just putting pressure on the aliens the whole time, taking down their resource node, just mainly leaving them resource starved. They punished them a lot for that quick expansion into Atrium, and it definitely paid off very well. Now we do have BnD on the Marines this time, and we have the mixed team on the aliens. We'll see how they do on the alien side of things. We'll see if BnD has any more luck keeping their resource nodes alive this round, and hopefully we'll see some good stuff happening. And we do have a ready from the aliens, waiting on the Marine team. Oh, and they go unready. And we're taking a restroom break. So if you folks need a restroom break, now's the time to do it. And we'll continue when everyone gets back. Alright, here we go. We do have the aliens starting down in sub-access, the Marines starting up in Atrium. This is excellent for BnD. The aliens are well across the map, so they won't have as much pressure as they had in the previous encounter. They do split up. We have 3 Marines heading into Crevice over here. We have 1 Marine over in Reactor Core, and we do have 1 Marine sitting in the base building the wonderful, wonderful armory. As far as the aliens go, we already have aliens sitting over at Crossroads. We have the ventilation extractor going up. When we do have Fix sitting over in Computer Lab, they're most likely scouting out for the Marines, trying to see where they're starting. Pipe Junction's being scouted out. They do know the Marines are not in Pipe Junction, and at this point, they do know the Marines are in Atrium. Toby and Two Stroker are checking out this extractor here, most likely knowing that BnD only has 1 Marine guarding the extractor, but we do have Fleddy up here coming down for the backup, and they don't see him. Fleddy's going to go down very easily. We do have a 3rd alien joining the battle, and the aliens take very little damage, and they will take that reactor down. We do have the Marines trying to take flight control, and the aliens have their first hive upgrade set up with a Crag hive. We do have Time Druid down here doing some scouting in Computer Lab and putting up a reactor. Fix is checking it out. He's wondering if he can take that hit. He doesn't see any other Marines, and he does see Unicorn maybe on the corner of his eye. And the Marine does go down. Unicorn comes in and finishes off, but we do have Radical coming in behind Unicorn. And Unicorn does see him, and they are going to start the engagement. And it looks like Unicorn will be able to fend him off. Radical's going to have to go back and get some health, and they will get that resource tower up. The aliens, on the other hand, are making quite a push into Data Core, where their 2nd hive will most likely be put down. Carapace is completed for the aliens, so they will be a little bit harder to kill. They're going to have that extra oomph of armor. And the Marines only on phase tech right now, hoping to push into flight control, it looks like, for their 2nd command center. We do have Toby scouting out Reactor Core, and he decides against attacking it, but he does have some backup from VJ the Gorge and Radical coming in. And we do also have Two Stroker coming in. Looks like they're going to make a push towards Reactor Core and keep some pressure on that extractor. The Marines have lost 1 extractor. I believe that was Reactor Core, and it's been rebuilt, obviously. Now LYE is going to have to take on 3 aliens by himself. Fleddy comes in too late, but Fleddy does have the range advantage on the aliens, although they're closing that gap fairly quickly. Fleddy's not looking up, and they do come down and they grab him from the top. LYE's coming in for backup again, and it looks like that extractor is going to go down as the aliens claim Data Core for their 2nd hive. So the mixed team grabbing Data Core for their 2nd hive. The Marines not able to hold on to Reactor Core, although they are making good pushes down into flight control and into Computer Lab, able to hold this stuff. They do have a phase gate up in Computer Lab, most likely hoping to make it a forward base into the aliens' main base in sub-access. And they are making a giant push right now. 4 Marines. Unicorn actually steps back, notices there's 2 aliens in the vents, while the Marines try to go in. We do have Hydras in the way. And it looks like the 2 aliens do take out Unicorn, and they are going to take out that phase gate. The Marines pull back into a defensive position. And it looks like they are able to hold this sector. We have Toby running around up top, probably doing some more scouting, trying to see just how dug in the Marines are. And the aliens are sitting at 3 resource towers to the Marines 2. They've already lost 4. All of them seem to be in Reactor Core. Reactor Core doesn't seem to be a safe place for the Marines right now, losing just extractor after extractor, really punishing them for attempting to take that expansion point multiple times. Data Core does finish. We should be seeing a 2nd upgrade by the aliens here sometime soon. We do have the Marines taking pot shots at the extractor, trying to bring the aliens down to 2. We do have a big push on the Marines. 1 Marine goes down, 2 aliens go down, and Leap has begun. Leap is going to be very important. It's going to be allow the aliens to close that gap even quicker. And we do see all of the Marines go down in sub-access, and they'll have to retreat back to Computer Lab through the phase gate in order to hold that position. Hopefully they can get there in time. Looks like they do have a lurk sniping, and they have 3 skulks moving in. We have a shift hive completed by the aliens, and welders completed by the Marines. Those mines doing a fantastic job, doing some major damage to the aliens and taking one of them down. Carapace is helping them out a lot against those mines. And it looks like the Marines are able to hold Computer Lab. Those mines were incredibly helpful, but we do have 2 lurks still sniping away at the Marines, and we do have Leap completed. So it looks like those aliens are gonna clean this up soon. Creep is spreading through, destroying the mines before the aliens do. And without those mines, I'm not sure if the Marines are gonna be able to hold this area. Although the Marines are doing a good job of taking out the Siths, hoping to receive the creep enough in order for them to place more mines down. And the Marines are doing an excellent job holding Computer Lab, pushing the aliens back at every push. We do have Blink started. We will have no aliens able to use Blink by the time the research is done. We do have Radical at 40 res. He'll be the closest. And it looks like Blink will be ready for him whenever he gets that res set up. And once we see that fade on the field, I anticipate Computer Lab will go down fairly easily due to no upgrades from the Marines and no shotguns as of yet. Weapons 1 is started though, which will help them if they can get those shotguns out before the first fade comes out. Now we do have an engagement up in flight control with Toby hitting their reactor, their resource node. And Toby does go down. That resource node is almost dead. Most likely an alien, and we do have Radical coming up. Radical's actually going the other way into this resource node. So he's hitting the node at Crevice. Toby will most likely come back around and attack the resource node at flight control to finish it off, while pressure is still given to the Marines in Computer Lab. And it looks like Radical hears a Marine coming, and he steps out. Or actually, he takes out the resource node. That resource node does go down. Radical goes down and finishes off this resource node, bringing the Marines down to 3 nodes with 6 of them lost. Looks like the Marines are still doing a good job of holding this, but unfortunately they're not able to take a push into subsector. The aliens are doing a very good job of holding them back. The Marines are doing a very good job of holding the aliens back. And it just looks like a giant stalemate right here at Computer Lab. We do have shotguns researched before the fades can come out, so that will even the playing field quite a bit. Armor 1 is coming out now for the Marines. And we do have Toby and Radical moving up to the Marine base. They're taking out the Crevice resource node, and it looks like the commander for the Marine team's trying to recycle it. Whether it gets recycled in time, and it does. So the Marines are really not able to hold Crevice. They are holding Reactor Core though right now. And it looks like Radical and Toby attempted to get a sneak attack from behind going, but they did get seen. Looks like the Lurk is moving through. And it looks like the Marines do fall. Computer Lab might be going down here. The Marines might have lost their foothold into this area. An Elephant phases through, Unicorn phases through, and we do have Fleddy here. It doesn't look like the Marines are able to hold back this alien attack. And it looks like they are going down. The Marines have gone through flight control and crevice and replaced their nodes. They are sitting at 5 with the aliens only at 3. But the aliens are sitting on 63 resources. They're doing just fine. We do have Bile Bomb from the aliens, which is going to help out, especially against this outpost here. Weapons 2 is now completed from the Marines, which is going to give them that extra boost that they need against these skulks with Carapace. And it looks like the Marines are pushing in, taking time to take out those cysts. The Marines do push in, and Unicorn's all by himself. The team has just left Unicorn by himself. And the aliens do take him down quite easily. Looks like Two-Stroker is going in for a kill. Two-Stroker takes down one Marine. Time Druid is still sitting there. And that one Marine does fall. We do have VJ trying to Bile Bomb them, it looks like. And they are welding the phase gate up in Computer Lab. Doing an excellent, excellent job holding that area against some awesome alien play. Looks like we do have something happening up here at Reactor Core. That extractor is halfway dead. Looks like we have a drifter here. So the aliens are keeping close tabs on this area in order to see if any Marines try to push into Data Core. We also have a drifter here taking a look at Crossroads, where Unicorn is actually trying to set up a node here. And the alien commander is well aware of this, those drifters being excellent scouts, and he'll most likely move in some units to take it out. So I don't anticipate the Marines holding Crossroads for very long. And we do have Toby as a fade already moving in. Radical moved in, and it looks like that reactor is going to fall already. So that's going to be a quick turnover up there. We do have VJ gorging it up in flight control, probably taking a look around and seeing what's going on. And we still have 4 Marines over in Computer Lab. Marines are very, very hell-bent on keeping Computer Lab. And it looks like VJ is going to go down, although we have Radical coming up behind as a fade. VJ goes down, but Radical's able to clean up pretty well. And we do have 2 fades in flight control. And they are both fairly heavy damage. So the Marines are taking some very good shots right now. And it looks like Toby and Radical are moving back to base in order to recharge. And these drifters are just in excellent, excellent places for the aliens. They have full view of just about the entire map. It looks like the Marines have dropped their second command center down in flight control, hoping to get a prototype lab up. Jetpacks will be infinitely useful against this stalemate here. It might be just enough to push them right over the edge. Weapons 3 is just finishing for the Marines. So the Marines are fully upgraded on their weapons. They are sitting on Armor 2 with shotguns, while the aliens are sitting on Carapace and Celerity, along with Blink for their fades. We do have a phase gate set up in flight control. Looks like they're hunkering down in flight control. They really want to hold this for their second command center. And we do have Crevice has gone down again. The Marines have lost a total of 11 resource nodes during this fight. And it looks like the aliens are doing a heavy push into Reactor Core. The Marines are punishing them for that push by attacking sub-access. We'll see if the aliens are able to hold this off. All of the aliens are across the map, and we do get a beacon into Atrium. So the aliens are able to fend off this attack, forcing the beacon into Atrium and pulling the Marines back from what would have been a successful attack. The aliens are just keeping the Marines very well secured in their resources. They're not able to hold the 2 closest nodes to their base, with Crevice and Reactor Core both down. They're able to keep up the flight control and Computer Lab nodes, and they actually have a 3rd one in their main base. And the 2 fades are moving in. Not able to do too much damage to them, as there's just too many Marines. We do have Adrenaline coming up, and Regeneration is now up as well. So the aliens are pretty maxed out on upgrades for the moment. I do anticipate Spores coming up next for them, and they might even try to drop the third hive in Crossroads. That really is their only option at the moment, unless they can take out Flight Control or the Atrium command centers. We do have Unicorn here taking out upgrades for the aliens. I'm not sure if he was able to get one, but Fix comes in and just takes him out.
Station under attack.
We do have we have a Gorge bile bombing the Marine base, which is going to do some pretty significant damage to them. We have Unicorn and Sneaky Elephant moving in. They're able to push the aliens back just a little bit, and they do get that scouting drifter right there. The aliens are able to clean this up, and they will keep reactor core. And the aliens do drop their third hive in Crossroads. Whether the Marines pick this up or not is vastly important. The Marines can't let the aliens get a third hive, or they're just going to be too high in tech to be able to be held back. We do have Armor 3 coming up for Marines, though. And it looks like Adrenaline was taken out by one of the Marines from the earlier encounter here. Looks like the Marines are doing a very good push into sub-access. But the aliens are taking out the Flight Control res node as well, so the Marines are going to be punished by losing yet another res node. And the aliens actually push back this encounter completely. That node does fall. The Marines are down to 3. They've lost 12. The aliens have lost an astonishing 0 nodes, and they've been running just fine on the 3 nodes they've had this entire match. So the aliens have been doing very well. They've had very good control in their resources. It looks like we do have some crags and gorges really pushing this third hive up. Looks like the Marines are doing another push from Computer Lab into sub-access. And we do have a Fade moving into Flight Control. We do have a Nano Shield on that phase gate, and no doubt some Marines are going to come through and deny that Fade an attack. We do have Crevice going down again by VJ, and Toby is putting some pressure on the Marine main base. So the Marines are going to lose their 13th resource node this match. Excellent work on those resource pushes by the aliens. And we saw that in the previous game as well. BnD just haven't been able to hold resources at all during these 2 matches that they've gone through. And with that third hive completed, we should be seeing some interesting pushes by the aliens. We do have Two-Strucker, who is saving up for an Onos, it looks like. He'll be the closest one to it. The alien commander doesn't have enough resources in order to get an Onos, and they do take a 4th resource node. Very risky over here, Reactor Core, right next to the Marine base, but the aliens most likely feel confident that they can hold this. They have kept it away from the Marines the whole time, and despite its close proximity to the Marine base, it looks like they're going to be able to hold it. I don't know how to get rid of these markings that I've created on the screen. Something to figure out for later, I suppose. Alright, looks like we have a push going into Computer Lab here. One of the Fades does go down. Radical goes down. So the aliens do lose a fade. They make absolutely no pressure onto Computer Lab. Although VJ's coming in as a fade. And they do get him down to half health, but they're not able to kill him. Looks like Unicorn's moving in, doing some scouting work on the sub-access hive. And we do have jetpacks being researched right now by the Marines. It's going to give them that extra push that they need. And they might be able to move into a hive once those jetpacks finish. We do have a Marine push. They do notice that Crossroads is now built. They're building the power node in Crossroads right now. Or actually, they're building a phase gate. I'm sorry, they're building a phase gate. The power node's right here. They get that phase gate up. Looks like they're going to do a pretty heavy push into Crossroads. They do have, the aliens do have a couple of cracks keeping this hive up, so it's going to be incredibly difficult to take this thing down. We do have VJ moving in. And VJ will most likely be morphing into a gorge in order to keep this hive steady. Jetpacks are completed by the Marines, and it looks like they do have enough resources to grab those jetpacks and do some pretty serious damage. A resource node is, or an armory is dropped in Crossroads. They're really wanting to keep this and keep this push up, and the aliens are fighting back just as hard. This is a very good engagement by both sides, with just about an equal number of units falling on either side. Fletty comes in with the jetpack. And it looks like the Marines are trying to take down the first alien resource node. Their attacks are kind of split. They don't know whether they want to attack the hive or the resource node, or attack the aliens that are killing them. And it looks like they're trying to take out VJ. They feel if they can take out the gorge, which is very important, then they'll be able to make a push against that hive, which is very true. That gorge is doing a fantastic job. That hive is still at full health, and this resource node is sitting at 3/4 health. The Marines making absolutely no push on this hive, with the two Crags and VJ doing an excellent job. The Marines are doing an excellent job as well, keeping those aliens at bay. And this hive is still at 100%. The Marines have done absolutely nothing. And VJ does go down. With VJ down, they might be able to make a good push. They are attacking the whip and the Crags. So they finally figured out, hey, we can't kill this hive. It's getting too much health, and they're now making their push. Grenade launchers have begun for the Marines, so we will be seeing some grenades here soon. We do have Shade Hive completed. And it looks like this hive is going to be able to stand. Looks like the aliens have not yet come up. They do take out Computer Lab. The Marines have lost their foothold in Computer Lab, and Flix looks like he's going to take down a few resource nodes. The Marines are down to 2. They're only going to be down to 1 resource node, which means they're going to be extremely resource starved, even more so than they have. We see 2 Onos coming in for the defense on Crossroads with Radical and 2-Stroker. The Marines aren't going to be able to hold off these 2 Onos, not with only LYE sitting there. And Crossroads does stay up despite a valiant effort by the Marines. With 3 hives and 2 Onos up, I'm not quite sure if the Marines are going to be able to push back, although we do have 2 command centers.
Command station taking damage.
But that does seem like we're going to see 1 command center falling here. And the phase gate goes down. The Onos are doing a fantastic job. We have 3 Onos now in flight control. There really is no way for the Marines to kill 3 Onos. And it looks like we might be seeing a good game here soon from the Marines as the Onos move into sub-axis. The Marines are still at 2 res points with a total of 14 lost. The aliens are at 4 and they've only lost 1 in the entire game. And the IPs are now being attacked. VJ's coming in as Gorge, and Toby's coming in late to the party. but he'll still be able to do some major damage. Looks like that's going to be it for today's Marine team. BnD putting up a very, very good fight against these aliens. And it looks like they are going to be able to take Radical down. Although I'm not sure that's definitely not going to be enough, especially with Two-Stroker and Toby taking out that power node. Two-Stroker does go down. They do take out 2 Onos. Can they take out Toby before they die? And Toby looks like he does clean up the Marines. Although Steamy Taco's doing a good job. Can Steamy Taco take him down? And he doesn't. Toby almost dies. And it was a very well-fought game by the Marines. But the mixed team here just did an absolutely phenomenal job holding them back. So excellent, excellent work. Good game, everyone. Good game.
You want to play more?
Yeah, sure.
It looks like we're going to be doing a few more games. And we'll be, I'm not sure if the map's changing or not. This is a pickup game. This is a scrim between BnD and a mixed team. So this isn't, we're not doing anything quite official. Looks like we might be seeing NS Vale. And it looks like we are going to be going to Vale. This has been NS Summit, a very good map for both sides. And I'll be interested to see if how the Marines do. Whoever has Marines on Vale, we'll see how well they do to keep out the aliens. Alright, welcome everyone to NS Vale. Very hotly contested map. The Marines are definitely at a disadvantage. Looks like the mixed team is going to be taking the Marine team here. And looks like BnD is going to take aliens for this first match. Vale is very famous for the nanogrid double resource node right here in the center of the match. We do have tech points over at Cargo, Pipeline, Subsector, and Control where the Marines will start. The aliens are going to start either in Pipeline, or I'm sorry, either in Cargo or Subsector. I'm not entirely sure if the aliens are able to start in Pipeline. But this will be a very hard fought match for the Marines. This is a very difficult match for Marines, mainly due to the distance away from nanogrid. The aliens have very good positioning from all 3 tech points at the bottom into nanogrid. And as far as the resource nodes on the Marine side, Skylights and Topographical are connected both by a ventilation system that also hits Overlook and C12, so an alien is able to ping pong between the power node in C12 and the power node in Topographical, as well as the power node in Skylights and in Overlook. So the aliens have a huge advantage with those 2 resource points, keeping the Marines at bay. We'll see if either team is able to succeed as the Marines on this map, but it should be a good game either way. We are waiting for both teams to ready up. And so far in today's match, we do see that the mixed team put together by Toby here is up by 2 matches. BnD hasn't won anything yet, but they did put an excellent push as the Marine team in that second match on Summit. BnD does have a slight issue that we saw with Clan Milk the other day with their inability to hold the resource towers. SCM, as Laser pointed out, is very good at taking out those resource towers, and it looks like this mixed team is also very good at taking out those resource towers. BnD is fairly new. They are playing with a few new people to Natural Selection 2 that have just joined their clan. So this, while they don't have the experience, they are doing a very good job. This is a very good experience for them in order to make some headway into the competitive scene. So we do have Radical and LYE still sitting in the ready room. We're waiting for them. Both teams are most likely hashing out tactics for Vale before we begin. And once they get things squared away, we'll get started, folks. Alright, folks, here we go. Looks like we have BnD as the aliens starting down in cargo. The Marines, of course, starting up in control. And it looks like the Marines are sending 2 over to Topo and 3 into Skylights to secure their first 2 res nodes. And we do have the aliens already quickly moving upwards. We do have 3 aliens moving into Topo, which is going to be painful for the 2 Marines that were sent up there. And we do have 2 aliens being sent up to Skylight, so it looks like the opposite pushes by both teams on either side of the map. We do have a Shade Hive completed very, very quickly by the aliens. And it looks like these Marines are going to be able to hold Skylights, although LYE has snuck into Skylights and he's going to be able to take out that res node. Whether they send a Marine back or not is to be determined. And it looks like this push over in East Junction was also thwarted by the Marines. The Marines playing a very good beginning game right here up top. Looks like we do have some alien creep spread into Pipeline. It doesn't look like the aliens are trying to move into Nanogrid at all. And the mixed team is able to take Nanogrid. I anticipate we'll be seeing a phase gate here soon in order to relieve some pressure. And if we don't, that's going to be a very, very long walk back to Nanogrid by these Marines, should they die. So we do have a resource node dropped in Pipeline for the aliens. Looks like we are going for Pipeline as a second hive. Camouflage has just finished, and Phase Tech has started. So we will be seeing a phase drop over in Nanogrid, which is a very, very important position for these Marines. It's very rare that you can see a Marine team take Nanogrid, especially this early into the game. And mines have started. We will be seeing some mines dropped on the field, which will further help solidify Nanogrid's taking. BnD realizing the hives and cargo, taking some shots at their resource towers. And it looks like VJ is going to get hit by that cloaked skulk, and the Marines do go down fairly easily with mines just now completing. And we do have Filks and Two Stalker doing some defense. Time Druid is moving in, trying to sneak in on them, but this phase gate does go down. Time Druid has to make a quick attack here if he decides to. If that phase gate goes up, Nanogrid will most likely be in Marine control. Will the aliens attack in time? No, they will not get that phase gate up. The Marines do go down, and that phase gate is not able to be built. 2 seconds too late by those Marines, and it looks like those Marines are going to lose Nanogrid. That was a very, very close call by both sides. Looks like the aliens are able to take the slight advantage there. We do have Topographical going down. Looks like Skylights is still up and doing just fine. The Marines are sitting at 3 res nodes, and the aliens are still sitting at 2. Although the Marines are losing both res nodes at Nanogrid, which is going to bring them down to 1. Looks like we do have an encounter here at Topographical. Filks is circling around, and he does get eaten by a stealth skulk. BnD doing an excellent job. I still see no creep spread going into nanogrid, so it's going to be fairly difficult for the aliens to hold this. We do have a 2 marine push going in there, but there are 3 aliens, 2 of them half damaged. And 1 alien does go down. 2 aliens go down, and shotguns are completed by the marines. The power node is still up in nanogrid. We might see a phase gate drop here as they try to hold it a second time. The marines now at 15 res. Phase gate goes down, but Sneaky Elephant is in the vent under nanogrid. Is he going to be able to stop this in time? He is not. That phase gate is going to go up, and the marines are going to get a foothold on nanogrid right now. We do have Steamy Taco moving in, getting hit by a mine and killed. Steamy Taco not able to make a push. And the topographical resource node is down. They don't know where Unicorn is. It looks like they know a Skulk is in the area, but they don't know where. And it looks like the resource node goes down. Time Druid is also coming in. And Time Druid gets hit by a mine and killed. Unicorn is by himself. And it looks like he's going to wait until the Marines actually leave before he tries to take out this resource node. Looks like the Marines are getting hit pretty hard at nanogrid. This phase gate might go down. But we do have 2 Marines come in just in time, and the phase gate is able to stand. Marines do not have welders, and that phase gate is incredibly damaged. Steamy Taco is going in for the kill on it. The Marines notice, and they take out Steamy Taco right in time. That phase gate is literally 1 hit from dying. And without welders or an armory sitting in nanogrid, they're going to have a very difficult time holding that up. Welders are going in as panic research right now. They know if they lose that phase gate, it's pretty difficult for them to get it back. Looks like the aliens have set down their second hive in pipeline. It's almost done at 49%, 50% done. We do have a welder up, and it looks like, oh, we do have Sneaky Elephant going right for that phase gate. Are they going to weld it in time? They are welding. Sneaky Elephant's going for it, and they do manage to keep the phase gate up. That phase gate manages to stand, and those welders just coming out right in the nick of time. Very, very good luck by those Marines. We do have C-12 getting hit pretty hard by VJ. Time Druid coming in to do some defense on that resource node. The aliens still have lost no resource nodes this match. And it looks like VJ holds his ground, although Sneaky Elephant's coming in fast. He's not even worried about being cloaked. And Unicorn's actually coming in on the other side. And they do go down. That resource node is secure. So the Marines are at 4 resource nodes right now. They'll be able to get 5 here in a bit. We have 1 at Topo, and they're building skylights right now. Excellent, excellent work by the Marine team. The pipeline hive has just finished. We should be seeing some new research by the aliens, especially with Leap just now starting. Leap combined with Cloak is an incredibly deadly combo, and we still see no upgrades from these Marines in order to counteract any of these upgrades on the alien side. Although we have shotguns with weapon 0. Shotguns really doesn't do a whole lot of good on the Marine side until weapons 1 is researched, so we should be seeing a protolab here soon. And there is a protolab sitting in the Marine base, not being built as of yet. Most likely waiting for the next person that dies. We do have 2 aliens hitting the topographical node, and we do have Elephant taking a look into nanogrid. It doesn't look like the aliens are much concerned with nanogrid. We still haven't seen any creep infestation that way, and the second hive does become a crag hive, most likely with Carapace coming up as the second upgrade. Marines setting down a power node in C-12, making a big push. Looks like that resource node did fall, although we do have Taco and Elephant coming in to reclaim this node. And they do see Taco. That just looked like a lucky shot. I'm not sure if they knew Taco was there or if he was just taking a shot. Oh, he was taking a shot at the cyst right here and just happens to hit Taco, but that doesn't help. Elephant does take them down, and the aliens are able to keep a hold on C-12. We do have a push into Overlook into Subsector. Looks like the Marines are wanting to take Subsector as their second command center point. And it looks like they're going to be able to at the moment, unless the aliens make a pretty good push over into that section. We do have topographical falling yet again to the aliens. The Marines have lost an amazing 7 resource nodes, and the aliens only lost 1, although they are sitting on only 2 nodes. We do have Region and Carapace coming up right now. And it looks like Toby and VJ are moving down into subsector. Steamy Taco and LYE are moving in. We'll see who wins this engagement. This is going to be a very important engagement for those Marines. It looks like LYE and Taco, oh, they're going to get some pretty good sneaking on. Oh, and right outside of the ping range. Just outside of that ping. And they are able to clean those Marines up. And subsector will still be in control of the aliens for the moment. We do have 3 Marines moving from Nanogrid into C12 to take this resource node. Armor 1 just now beginning for the Marines. And the C12 resource node by the aliens will fall. Aliens are still sitting at 3 nodes, down to 2 now. And the Marines are sitting at a very, very healthy 5. Although Overlook looks like it's going to be going down. Looks like Topographical still isn't built. And VJ goes down outside of Nanogrid. Looks like there's going to be a push going into Nanogrid here soon. And LYE takes some major damage for that mine. And Toby moves in and cleans up fairly easily. Those mines being the Marine saving grace right now on this map. And it looks like the Marines are moving into Neck, into Pipeline, wanting to possibly grab Pipeline as their command center point. I'm not quite sure if they realize that there's a hive in Pipeline. They've got to know the cysts are moving through, and the aliens have had ample time in order to build it. Looks like Skylights is defended by the Marines, so they will keep that resource node, and they'll move down into Nanogrid and possibly do a rebuild there. Elephant taking a look, waiting until those Marines move far enough away so he can move into Skylights again and possibly take out that node. We have Blink started as well as Armor 1 being completed. Looks like Unicorn on the alien side is going to be the first one to fade. Whether he decides to do that or save up for Onos, we'll definitely see here in a second. And it looks like the Overlook node goes down. Advanced Armory is started. Now this is an odd tactic that they begin the Advanced Armory. They only have Armor 1 as Marines. And they're just now starting Weapons 1. Although I guess they are pretty good in res points right now, especially holding 5 nodes. And it looks like LYE's moving into this phase gate in Nanogrid. Radical and Two-Stroker move down. And the Marines have claimed the subsector hive, and they're building the command center there. So they'll be able to make a pretty good push into cargo here. And possibly take out a hive. The Marines are making very, very good headway here. And they've taken pretty much every disadvantage that the Marines have on this map and have pretty much made it null and void. Although subsector is pretty hurt. They didn't put down a phase gate. And it looks like they are going to lose subsector. The Marines are going to make a quick push down there, see if they can salvage any of that, but it does look like subsector is going to go down entirely. We have 2 aliens moving up with Blink completed, and Unicorn just about almost at 50 res for that fade. We do have 3 Marines still in subsector. We'll see if they'll be able to hold this. Elephant sneaks off, he gets pinged, and they do see him. Looks like Toby goes in to try to look for him, and Elephant tries to come up but is unsuccessful. It does fall back. Subsector's being put up yet again with a resource node first and an observatory. No phase gate seen in subsector. The Marines are losing Nanogrid. This is going to be very painful for the Marines right here. I still see no cyst. Okay, we do have cyst moving in through Y Junction into Nanogrid. So most likely we'll see the aliens finally take over Nanogrid. Looks like Radical and Filks and Toby are all moving in, see if they can retake this. There's only 1 alien and he does leave. Steamy Taco is sitting in the vents. And the aliens are trying to assist in there, but it's just a little too late. They're trying to toss up the phase gate. They're going to set these 2 res nodes down again and retake Nanogrid. And they do have a pretty secure beat over here on Subsector. And they do have a very good phase gate network running. The Overlook node does go down for the Marines. Marines have lost a total of 13 res nodes now during this encounter. And we have 3 Marines holding back the aliens here in Subsector. They will go down, and the Marines will hold Subsector. There's no observatory, so they're not able to see... Oh, Toby's right in the middle of them! And they do hit Toby, but they do defend. Unicorn gets pinged. And he does take down one of the Marines. Lai is coming in as a fade. And he does get pushed out fairly quickly with the shotguns that the Marines do have at the moment. The Marines have been doing a very good job. In the beginning of the game, Nanogrid was definitely the point that could have made or broke the Marines. Now they've managed to move the pressure over to Subsector. And if the Marines can hold Subsector, I anticipate that this could be a pretty good victory for the Marines. But the aliens are hitting very, very hard. The aliens definitely feeling the pressure onto Subsector. And whether we can see the Marines hold on to this, and it looks like we are. The Marines are taking very good shots, and they do clean up all of those aliens. Excellent, excellent job by the Marines. I honestly didn't see them coming back from that. I honestly thought Subsector was going to go down, but they did an excellent, just phenomenal job holding back those aliens. Now we do see an armory going down, and they are moving out of Subsector. Marines doing a very good job sitting at 6 resource towers now. The aliens are still sitting at 3, 1 in C12 and 2 in their hives. Oh, we do get a ping by the Marines as the aliens try to surround. Some very fortuitous timing on some of these pings by the Marine commander. And it looks like the Marines are moving in, taking out some sys to possibly wreck some of their sys chains here. Elephant's going around top to see if he can get a vent kill. He does see VJ. He probably sees VJ as pretty low in health. And the sys keep going down. And the Marines keep taking them out, wasting their ammo on the sys. And LYE takes down a Marine, and Elephant goes in for Filks, and both the Marines do go down. The push into cargo is halted. We do have cysts all over Nanogrid. Looks like the aliens are trying to cyst into Nanogrid and put some pressure there for the Marines. But the cysts do fall very quickly. And it looks like the aliens are putting up a pretty good fight in this area. Nanogrid might fall, although the Marines have been doing some very, very good shots against these aliens. And it looks like the Marines are going to be holding off the aliens here. The Marines just all throughout this entire match in Vale have just been doing a very good job cleaning up the aliens, when in all reality they shouldn't have. Most of these alien losses should have been alien victories by a pretty substantial margin, but the aiming by this team on Marines has just been absolutely phenomenal. They've been dead on, and they've been just pushing back very, very well. And with 6 resource towers, the Marines are going to be able to make a pretty heavy push here soon. Weapons 2 is coming up. And we do have a prototype lab in Subsector, which means we'll be seeing some jetpack research soon. We do have a ping, and it looks like the aliens are being pushed back into system waypointing. Jetpacks have started for the Marines, which will allow them a big push into cargo to take down one hive. The aliens looks like they're moving into Overlook. I'm not sure if they're going for an attack on Subsector or if they're going to try to hit the res node. And it looks like they are moving into Subsector. We do have multiple pings by the Marine Commander. They do have an observatory, so it's going to be hard to get a sneak attack onto this area. And we do have a robotics facility with arcs. It looks like the Marines are not only going to get jetpacks from Subsector, they're going to move in with an arc siege. And it looks like this phase gate's about to go down. It does get nanoed. And that phase gate does go down. VJ gets cleaned up, and it looks like the aliens might have taken Subsector from these Marines at a very, very good point in the game. If they can take out that proto lab before the jetpacks finish, they'll be in a very good shape. And it just looks like this is going to be very painful for the Marines. But they are going for that command center. That jetpack research is going to be halted. And it looks like the aliens are moving in very, very quickly with their cysts. Excellent, excellent push by the aliens. That phase gate going down was exactly what they needed to do. But the Marines do push back. We do have Toby moving in. These cysts are all over the place. And it looks like Steamy Taco's coming in. And it looks like they're going to try to get the second command center back up as quickly as they can in order to get these jetpacks started. But we do have a strong push by the aliens. Although it is held back very well. The Marines are just, I can't talk enough about how well these Marines are just doing at these alien pushes. It just feels like for every successful alien push, the Marines have had 2 or 3 right back on them. And it looks like we do have a phase gate going down now that some of the cysts are being cleared out. Although the aliens are doing a very good push. We do have Sneaky Elephant going in for Radical. There's no Marine backup. We do have a couple of one Marine, 2-stroker coming in from Overlook into Subsector, and it looks like Toby is coming in from Nanogrid. Time Druid is by himself, almost dead. But the cysts are just so out of control in Subsector. They're not able to build anything. The Marines are going to have a very difficult time getting Subsector back under control. Just an absolute sickening amount of cysts being dropped in there. Elsewhere on the map, we don't really have anything else exciting going on. That Skulk goes for Nanogrid and gets taken out by a mine. And it does look like all the action is being taken right here in Subsector. Looks like a phase gate has just been put down, as well as an observatory. It's going to be interesting to see if these really just do the final push for the Marines. The phase gate does get completed, and it's still that we're still seeing an absolute alarming amount of cysts. Looks like they're getting a sentry battery up in order to deal with these cysts, so the Marines don't have to worry about using all of their ammo on them. The aliens hanging back. They've done multiple pushes in this area, and they might be at a loss as to how they can push. They've done a push from every angle, and they've been just thwarted at every turn. We do have a Lurk coming in. We do have Steamy Taco at 71 res. He's almost at 75, which means we might see an Onos coming in order to help with this push. Whether that Onos helps or not depends on the Marines aiming and how fast they're able to take it down. Subsector does get completed. The Marines do get their jetpacks. We do see Max, and most likely we'll see some arcs coming out. Some arcs will be very hard to push against those aliens. Cargo will go down fairly easily. And this might be the turning point in the game. The aliens weren't able to keep their grasp on Subsector or Nanogrid. And honestly, I think Subsector was a turning point in this game where it's going to be very, very tough for the aliens to come back. Looks like the Marines are doing a bit of scouting now that they have their jetpacks, trying to see what kind of foothold the aliens have on the rest of the map. There's just cysts everywhere. And it looks like the aliens do have control of just about every part of the right side of the map. And the Marines setting up for a good push from Wide Junction into cargo. The aliens had to be aware of this. The cysts are going down. Steamy Taco is morphing right now. Looked like he was just evolving into some upgrades, and he does go down very easily. Sneaky Elephant is a gorge. He's not going to be able to do too much against these Marines. And if we get a ping in this area, and we do have an Onos. Unicorn is coming in with an Onos. And we have 2 Onos on the field. And they do push back the Marines. The Marines do retreat from this battle. The power node is getting hit, but the Onos are getting hit from fairly far away. They've taken a little bit of damage, but nothing staggering so. The Gorge does go down. Sneaky Elephant is down. Looks like Bad Unicorn is without a Gorge, and he's still trying to attack. He does retreat into cargo, and he will survive.
Our hive is under attack.
Looks like we do have a Marine push by VJ here. Oh, nope, not a Marine push at all. He goes down fairly quickly, does a little bit of damage against that hive, and most likely that was just some pot shots taken at an alien that happens to hit the hive. We do have 3 Onos now by BnD. And this definitely explains why we've seen a lack of fades in this matchup so far, but I don't see any gorges. There's not a single gorge. We do have Sneaky Elephant. Where's he at? He's just now coming in. And Time Druid is in a very bad place. Time Druid might go down here, but he does make it out just in time. The BnD team cannot afford to lose any of these Onos, and the Marines are doing a very good job chasing. Time Druid is almost dead, and Time Druid does go down. The aliens have lost 1 Onos. They're now down to 2. Very good chasing by the Marines. And with 2 res nodes by the aliens, that is something that they're going to feel. That is a very, very hard thing to take. So we're down to 2 Onos. Steamy Taco is actually almost dead. Looks like he's stealthed and going into the pipeline hive for some health there. Unicorn is at full health. He does have Steamy Elephant as the Gorge on him. And it looks like he's going to try to do a push into Nanogrid. Let's take a look down in Subsector. I don't see any... I do see 1 arc being set up right now. 2-stroker looks like he's getting set up for an escort there. And it looks like Time Druid's not able to do, or actually it looks like Unicorn's not able to do too much damage to Nanogrid. The Marines are holding off very well. We do have Steamy Taco. Looks like he's coming in through cargo for some reinforcements into Nanogrid. The Marines are doing a very good job of holding Unicorn back. It looks like Unicorn's not being healed fast enough, and he does have to do a full retreat before the Marines get smart and do a push into him. Excellent, excellent job by these Marines. I mean, they didn't even falter in the sight of 3 Onos. They've done an excellent job. The aliens sitting on 3 res towers now. Looks like they've taken back C12. They really have no chance to lose either of these 2 Onos. If these 2 fall, then the game is decidedly Marines, without a doubt. But if they are able to stay up and do some major pushes, the aliens will be able to push back. Nanogrid is still a very hotly contested area, and the Marines do need to keep it. We do see quite a few arcs. I'm not quite sure how many arcs that is. That might be 5 or 6 arcs sitting here, ready to move out. It does have a good line of max to protect it. And it is a very, very short distance into cargo from Subsector. I'm not quite sure if the aliens know. And it looks like the Onos is moving in right as the arcs are moving out. This is very fortuitous timing by the aliens. They're not able to move the arcs out when they wanted to. We do have Steamy Taco coming in, and we do have a big push by the aliens. Now realizing that they were trying to push some arcs through. But no Marines go down. The aliens are taking heavy damage. Sneaky Elephant goes down. Unicorn is almost dead. Unicorn is sitting at 2% health, and he does make it back to cargo, almost dying. That was incredibly, incredibly close. Unicorn almost died, and that would have definitely sealed the fate. Those arcs would have come and demolished that cargo hive, and it would have been a GG from the aliens. The Marines doing a very good job. They're now moving out. Now that their plan is blown, they are moving out the arcs into cargo, and the aliens have a very secure pathway into cargo. Looks like Unicorn sitting there. LYE does die, and we do have dual gun exo research started, so we might be seeing some exosuits coming out on the field here soon. We do have two-stroker at 100 res for the Marines, and we also have Fix at 100 res for the Marines. So we do have two exosuits able to be dropped by the alien team, by the Marine team. And the Marine commander is sitting at 77 resource with a staggering 7 nodes on this map. Looks like the exos are being deployed. They will be able to get off a few shots, although it won't be quite enough. In fact, they get off one shot before going down completely. The two Onos doing a very good job. Steamy Taco and Unicorn still alive. And they are able to hold this back. Excellent, excellent job. Looks like Sneaky Elephant is still a gorge. Dual Exo research is completed. So this next arc push that comes out from the Marines will be guarded by dual Exos. And with two Onos and two dual Exos with a bunch of welders and Max, it doesn't look good for the aliens. Although the aliens look like they're making a big push into Nanogrid. Although at this point in the game, with so many resources on the Marine team, Nanogrid can easily fall, and the Marines won't even blink twice about it. It'll be interesting to see if the Marines even care about Nanogrid at this point. We do have Radical moving in, and it doesn't look like they really mind that much. We do have Filks coming in with the dual Exo. And it looks like Two-Stroker's going to have a dual Exo here soon. And it looks like the Marines are going to try to do a full push. They might be trying to corner these. Oh, Filks is getting hit pretty badly. Filks goes down. One dual Exo does go down. Steamy Taco sitting almost dead at 15% health. And we do have a Marine push. Oh, Pipeline Hive does go down by some Marines with some grenade launchers. Excellent push by the Marines. The aliens are now at one hive. And we do have a push coming in by the aliens with the beacon on subsector, which is going to push those two Onos back just fine. Pipeline has been put down again by the aliens. And BnD they're struggling. They really are struggling at this point. They really need to take down subsector. And just keep in mind, guys, the Marines may have a decisive advantage here, but the game really does come down to personal skill. If the mixed team here starts playing poorly against BnD, if they start missing their shots, then BnD can easily catch up, get their third hive, and they can push back onto control here in the Marine base, which actually hasn't been touched at all. I don't think I've seen a single alien walk into control at all. Looks like the aliens are trying to grab Nanogrid. We do have some cysts and some resource towers down, so the aliens are at 5. We still see not enough res on the alien side. The alien commander does have enough to drop an Onos egg, so we might see a third Onos again here on the map. We do have quite a bit of arcs built up by the mixed team again. We do have a Two-Stroker is in his dual exosuit. Although the last dual exosuit we saw fell fairly easily. He doesn't have anyone backing him up. He doesn't have a welder on him. And a Skulk can easily take down a double exo. A good Skulk can easily take down a double exo. Although we do have Marines now hitting the cargo hive. And the hive is going down very quickly. The aliens are struggling. They're coming back as fast as they can. And it looks like the cargo hive is going to go down. Although they are bringing the pipeline hive back up. Oh, we do see the two Onos coming in. And the two Marines in the vent are just doing so much damage to that hive. It does go down. The aliens lose cargo hive. And pipeline is now up. Actually, it's at 95%. But with the cargo hive being demolished, the aliens do lose Blink. They're losing Bile Bomb, and they lose Leap. They still have Camo, Regen, and Carapace. And Camo has really been their saving grace during this matchup. But that cargo hive is going to hurt them a lot. And Pipeline's already being hit by 2 Marines with grenade launchers. It's almost dead. Looks like this is going to be it for the aliens. And it looks like this mixed team here by Toby is going to win. Although we do have the aliens playing a pretty dirty game here with setting up in cargo again. This hive won't be put up in time. We do have 2 dead aliens. And it looks like that's a GG by the alien team. The mixed team wins. BnD loses another game. Very, very good play by the Marines. Very good play by the Marines. Good game, everyone. So what we've learned here today is that although NS Vale is incredibly hard for a Marine team, you can push ahead and you can win. It's not impossible for a Marine team, it's just incredibly difficult. Very good matchup so far. Looks like the mixed team is going to aliens, and it looks like BnD is going to be on Marines. And it's been a very, very good matchup so far. The mixed team has taken all 3 games that we played so far. BnD is still at 0. And it's going to be very difficult for them to pull a victory as a Marine team on this, on Vale. But who knows? They might be able to do it. The mixed team might make some pretty vital mistakes. But thus far, it's not looking so. They've been very good shots. They've been very good on aliens. And BnD just hasn't been able to hold as many resource nodes as I'm sure they would have liked to. The mixed team's been very, very good about taking out resource nodes. And they were able to secure 7 or 8 nodes the last game, just giving them an absolutely staggering lead on tech and personal resources. What I anticipate the mixed team doing this match is they're most likely going to push into nanogrid. I found it pretty odd that BnD didn't push into nanogrid immediately, like we're used to seeing. It was a very big risk. It didn't pay off for them. The Marines were able to take nanogrid very early, and they never really got it back from them. And it was pretty difficult for the aliens. Those 2 nodes in nanogrid are very vital for the aliens because there's not a lot of resource nodes down here for the aliens. Depending on where they start, if they start in cargo and pipeline, you've got a resource node in C12. If you start in subsector, you've got a resource node in Overlook. But those are the only 2 resource nodes down here. If you don't get nanogrid, then it's very difficult to catch up. You can get the other hives, but most likely one of these areas will be claimed by the Marines, as we saw with subsector in the previous game. Nanogrid's very, very important for the alien team. Alright, and it looks like we are starting now. Alright, here we go. The aliens starting down in cargo with the mixed team. The Marines doing a, looks like a 3-2 split into skylights, and the 2 going into topographical. And we do have the aliens doing some pretty forward pushes. We do have Toby and 2-Stroker sitting just outside of skylights. Looks like they're not wanting to move in very far. We also have Flix and Radical not wanting to move too far into topographical. We already have Sis We have a Gorge and 2 res nodes already up in nanogrid by the aliens. An incredibly fast push into nanogrid. And that's gonna do nothing but help them. We have VJ gorging up here, already setting up defenses. It's gonna be hard, if not impossible, for the Marines to push into nanogrid at this point. Very good job by the aliens securing that very quickly. Marines take Overlook, and it looks like they're going to want to take Subsector as their first command point or deny the aliens' third hive. We're a bit early for a second command station to be put down, but it is important to deny that third hive from the aliens as long as you can. Looks like Toby's almost dead. He is eating that node quite a bit. We do have a Crag hive up first for the aliens, signifying a Carapace first research or regeneration, depending on how they're feeling. We mostly see Carapace first. I haven't yet seen a regen first, but who knows? This might be the day. We do have the aliens keeping a secure hold into nanogrid. Excellent job by them cleaning that up. 2 aliens moving through system waypointing into Overlook. And it looks like LYE is sitting there. Looks like he does see him. We do have phase tech started by the Marines. Most likely to be put in Subsector. Carapace is coming up by the aliens. And that's definitely going to give them a leg up in these early encounters. Looks like Topographical is going down by 2 skulks. And it looks like the aliens are trying to push into Subsector. We have Fleddy and Kirby coming down. And it looks like Two-Stroker's going in for a kill. He's not successful, and he survives. He survives on 1% health. Almost dead there. And Radical does a good job of cleaning up system waypointing. Phase tech is completed. I anticipate a phase drop going down in Subsector. The Marines do have quite a few resources. They're at 4 nodes right now. To the aliens 3. We do see a phase gate going down in main base. And it looks like the aliens are doing a good job of keeping them busy in Subsector. And the phase gate did go down in Subsector. They did start building it, so that is going to be a waste of resources by the Marines. Looks like the aliens are going to want to claim Pipeline as their second hive. And the Marines are already in a fairly bad position. They can keep pushing into Subsector. We'll see if they'll be able to hold it. If they can get that phase gate into Subsector, that'll give them some power that they desperately need. Both teams sitting on 3 nodes, with the Marines losing 2 of them so far. Looks like the phase gate goes down first. They really want to get that up in order to move quickly. We do have Unicorn up in Topographical. He does take down VJ, who is taking out that resource node. And just double checking, and he looks like he's going to try to drop that resource node again. Although Fix and Radical are both out there, probably waiting for that signature sound of a building being built. And it looks like Unicorn's waiting patiently. It looks like the aliens have claimed Pipeline for their second hive. Mines have started. And I'm not quite sure, the Marines have just don't have enough resources. They just laid it down as Unicorn walks away. And this might be the point Fix and Radical have been waiting for. They hear the building sound and they start moving in. Mines have completed. We should start seeing some excellent mine play by the BnD team. And it looks like Unicorn does go down. The Marines do lose the resources for that resource tower. And it looks like the Marines are also losing Subsector. LYE's coming in along with Fleddy. They should be able to easily take down these 3 aliens as they are almost dead. And LYE takes all of them out very, very easily. Another phase gate going down in Subsector as they really try to hold that as hard as they can. Fix and Radical just sitting up here at Topographical doing some excellent harassment moves. Looks like Kirby's moving down, looking for some aliens. He knows they're around there. He knows that Topographical has gone down every single time. And Radical just outside that ping range. Excellent, excellent move right there. Radical should hear the mines going down, but he obviously doesn't know where they're being placed. We do have Toby and Stroker down here in subsector, and it looks like the Marines are doing a very good job of holding subsector away from the aliens. We have LYE moving. Not quite sure where he's going. He turned around. Looks like he's going to the Overlook to do some defense on that resource tower there. Along with Sneaky Elephant. Toby does go in the vent, and he is going to move quickly over to Skylights. This is what I was talking about earlier, folks. This vent right here is very easy for a Skulk to just ping-pong back and forth. LYE is going to go try to defend Skylights, but as soon as Toby sees him coming up, he's going to jump back in that vent and go back towards Overlook. Very difficult for the Marines to hold Overlook and Skylights. And there he goes. LYE's most likely going to start moving down towards Overlook. And it's just going to be a ping-pong back and forth. Looks like the Overlook node is going to go down. The aliens holding a good 3/4 of the map right now. The Marines still not able to get topographical, although they are still holding on to subsector. Looks like we have a slight alien push into their base as they're quickly retreating. Overlook does go down. LYE still trying to stop Toby from getting these nodes, but he's not able to. Fleddy is coming in. Looks like Toby's trying to engage LYE. Fleddy does try to take Toby down, and Toby does go down. Looks like the Marines are going to save Skylights. They do not have welders currently, so they won't be able to repair that node. Looks like we've got an observatory being built in subsector, and we do have Biobomb as well as Leap research for the aliens. Looks like Kirby and Unicorn are doing some good defenses here in topographical, although Skylights is going to go down. Two Strokes is taking down Skylights, and we do have Blink started. Radical does have enough res for Blink. Two Stroker is going to definitely have enough res for Blink whenever Blink finishes. And it looks like Toby's going to get taken out by a mine. Those mines are excellent, guys. If you're ever in a pub match, the mines. Shift Hive is completed. Weapons 1 is completed. I anticipate Celerity is going to be coming up next for the aliens. We'll see if shotguns come up next for the Marines. They obviously don't know that Blink is being researched, but hopefully the Marines can have shotguns out in time to counteract those two fades. And Armor 1 is started, so they're going for armor before shotguns. Although they can research them at the same time. We're getting tons of upgrades from the alien team. We have Spurs and Celerity going. Just tons and tons of upgrades going on. Those Spores are going to give those Lurks some extra motivation and do some harassment, possibly in their main base. We do have an engagement down here with VJ. Regeneration has completed. Toby is going for that node. Fleddy tries to get him, but VJ comes in for a sneak attack, and Fleddy is going to go down quite easily. LYE is trying to grab Stroker before he gets too far away, but the Skulk is just too fast. Blink is completed, so we should see a fade out of Stroker and Radical unless they're saving for Onos. We do have topographical going back down. The Marines have not been able to hold either topographical or Skylights for any significant amount of time, with the Marines losing 8 resource nodes, the aliens holding 5 and losing none of them so far in this engagement. The aliens are up almost over 50 res, moving up to 100 res on those Marines, and it's going to be a hard-fought game for the Marines at this point. We do have Radical moving in, just double checking on topographical. We do have shotguns coming out. I don't see any fades on the field as of yet. So those shotguns, while they're going to definitely help against those Carapist aliens, they would help a lot against those fades, which we don't see. Kirby's rebuilding Skylights, and it looks like we have Radical just keeping a guard over here in topographical. Overlook is not yet built, and looks like VJ is just keeping an eye on it. He's waiting for the Marines to start building it. When they're in this blue state like this, folks, we do see a beacon back. Radical by himself has managed to beacon the Marines back. Looks like the observatory was getting hit, and it looks like BnD is calling a good game fairly early on. So BnD feels they can't They can't do a good push. And it looks like that's going to be GG for BnD on this map.
Command station under attack.
So we see the mixed team now up 4-0 by BnD. I'm not quite sure if they're going to want to do some more matches or not. But it looks like BnD is just being outplayed in every aspect. Now in BnD's defense, they do have some new players to natural selection on their team. They are building up a good competitive team, and they've done some excellent moves. They've definitely done some excellent moves. They've got some good shots, and it's been very good. Good game, folks. And that's going to be it. That's going to be it for today's scrim. Excellent play by the mixed team. Excellent play by BnD. And just excellent games all around.